Let me break this down as best as I can in relationship to how I see um, 5% knowledge or the 5% um, perspective of the North American tradition of Islam. Okay. Um, it's based in a basic acronym that is derived from um, both of the most highly recognized forms of the North American tradition of Islam, the Noble Jew Ali, the Prophet Noble Jew Ali's Moorish Science Temple of America, and then the Honorable Messenger's Nation of Islam. That term is, that they share in common is, or that acronym they share in common as it pertains to Islam is I Self Lord Master. That is also something that is shared in relationship to that acronym in relationship to the Nation of Gods and Earth, which is a derivative of the North American tradition of Islam, just like El Rukin is a derivative of the North American tradition of Islam. And there's other examples. You can even say that um, 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 Answar or Nuwapian Answar Islam is a derivative of the North American tradition of Islam. And that's a different argument to determine. But what is kind of common among them all is this acronym of I Self Lord Master. So, in relationship to this idea of a mystery spook, or what I refer to as Sky Daddy, this is not relevant within the North American traditional context. God resides within you. The seed of God, the Christ, resides within you. I could put it in the context of this black dot. And through knowledge of self, you can become conscious of the God that resides within you. Now, that doesn't make you what would be referred to as the Lord of hosts, the God that is the creator God. You are now, for all terms and intents and purposes, a child of that God. And by becoming a child of that God, you have adapted the personification or the identification of your adopted parent or parents, because they're a whole parent. The polarity of male and female are represented within the cognitive force. The Ayin and the Sophia, which comprise the Baal, which is the Godhead of the All in All, which is probably identified as Allah. They become your holy parent. They replace the imperfect parents that you were um, 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 born to by no fault of your own or their own, based upon the corrupted nature of the human condition. And therefore, in their mercy, they have bestowed us with this, with their archetypical parentage, so that we may reparent ourselves, so we may be reborn in them and acquire the Christ consciousness and be able to repair the traumatic damage that was derived from our imperfect parents, born under a corrupted human condition. So what was corrupted becomes uncorrupted. This is what Paul's talking about in relationship, and what the Honorable Messenger is talking about in relationship to a mental resurrection. Paul talks about, well, there's a seed that lies within the terrestrial body that bores the celestial body. But it's in the celestial body that resurrection takes place. This is the mental resurrection that the Honorable Messenger speaks of in relationship to his, and I'm not calling him a prophet, prophesized based upon his interpretation of the metaphorical prophecy contained within the parables that make up the Bible, which he himself was said was 75% metaphor or allegory, and 25% historical. So this idea is more in line with the underlying message of both the Paulinian gospel and the Jesuit gospel. So this is why I accept this perspective over the Christian Judeo perspective that requires the defiance of the natural law in order to fulfill the law. Well, how are you going to be a lawbreaker to fulfill the law? That doesn't make any sense. And if you read the document correctly and other documents that stem from that document, other midrashes and so forth and so on, interpretations, you would come to the same conclusion because it lies within the facts. So, I just went farther than I wanted it to go, but here we go. This is where I'm at.